is an RMK production. Today is March 28th, 2021, and we want to welcome you to episode number one, How It Started, How It's Going. This is an opportunity to introduce ourselves and tell you who we are and what you can expect from our various podcasts. That's right, various podcasts, more than one, because we are in the business of producing information that will educate, empower, and activate you into action. Before we get started, we're going to go around and introduce ourselves. I'll start. I'm Marjorie Phoenix. I'm one of the partners in RMK Productions. I am the founder and CEO of Giving Voices Project. That's a nonprofit organization. I'm also the author of the book, Who the Hell Do You Think You Are? And you'll get to hear a little bit more about that story in a bit. But next, I'll pass it over to Ray.
Hi, thank you so much. My name is Ray Porch. I'm an educator, district school leader in Boston, father of one and husband of 23 years. And, I'm a historian. And so I'll be looking to, learn as I try to support this process as we move forward. I'm really excited. And I'll pass it over to Theo.
Hi, I'm Theo. I'm a chef currently based out of Long Island, but most importantly, I am the second half of the Kevin and Son. I have, oh God, I'm losing it. Yeah, oh God, I completely lost it.
That's okay.
I forgot what I was saying. Oh my God. I know, this isn't, hold on. Yeah.
That's good.
So I'm the second half of the Kevin and Son partnership. I would say I'm probably the more important half. I'm the more logical, logistical half of it. But, Kevin's the guy with the story, so we'll let him take the lead on it. I guess this is a good time to introduce Kevin. Go ahead.
I hope anyone listening to this hasn't wrecked their car. That is my baby boy, 6 foot plus, beautiful afro, the way Michael Jackson had it back in the days. Got a beard like, what's his name? Douglas, Mr. Douglas. It's got the head parted that way. I am the third half of RMK Productions, Kevin McLemore, author, 3 times book, recent book, Indispensable Games of X's and O's. I am the person that keeps the laughter in the background and look at life like it's one great big playground. So I'm going to spin it right back to you, Marjorie. Take it over. Go ahead.
Awesome. Listen, for a minute there when Ray started with his introduction that he's the father of one and wife of, 2, 3? What? Wife of, husband of how many wives? It's like husband of 23 wives. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I wouldn't last long with that.
Right. Well, listen, we all have a story, just as Theo said, and this all started somewhere, right? And you'll get to hear a little bit about how this partnership and this friendship developed. But before we talk a little bit about that, just so you can know each of us intimately, I'll tell you, I got started in this storytelling and change making field of work about 10 years ago after I went through what was a traumatic divorce that left me homeless and penniless and fighting for my life and my child and my dignity back. And during that time, that year and a half of just fighting, I went through a self-discovery process, right? I discovered some things about myself and I grew, and I decided that I was going to share my story in my book. Writing that book and telling my story there, that was the catalyst. That just took everything off because I realized that not just myself, but there were all of these other women who had experienced what I had experienced, was domestic abuse. And so I decided that I wanted to create a space where women could come and tell their stories, and they can tell it in any way that they wanted to. So that started my nonprofit organization, which was a way to tell stories through the arts, right? Different forms of the arts. And from that, I realized the power of storytelling, right? And then I realized how much of an impact your story can make. And as I worked more and more with these women, I started to just, gravitate more towards some of the root issues that was causing domestic abuse and causing violence. And then I really became an activist in my community, and I wanted to see change. I really wanted to see change. And I tell people I live by this quote, be the change that you want to see in the world. I truly believe that. And how do we do that? There's so many different ways, right? Storytelling is one, but then these conversations are another. And I love being able to sit with people and have the conversations about how can we bring about change in the world. And so I started to just reach out more and more to people who had had experiences like myself, right? How did you overcome your situation? Tell us your story and how what you're doing now is going to make an impact on other people. That's how I got to meet Kevin and Ray, because I interviewed them on my Phoenix Rising stories. And they both have powerful stories, and I can't wait for you guys to hear it. But that is how it started for me. Ray, why don't you tell them how it got started for you?
Thank you, Marjorie. So how it got started for me was with these two wonderful people was as Marjorie alluded to, this part of the how it got started. But for me, I'm a lifelong educator, and I grew up in very humbling beginnings in my life. Grew up in a housing project in Columbia Point, and the youngest of 10 children. And as I said, we grew up in very challenging circumstances. My path in life was anchored to two things: basketball and my love of learning. And so, over the course of these years and this journey of life, basketball, took me a lot of places. I had a chance to meet great people and have some terrific experiences, see the world, and grow myself. And it really saved my life, when I think about how I grew up. But along the way, what I learned is basketball was just another role, a guardrail to lead me to education. And so I played, I coached, did all that for many years, and then I, took on this role of educator. Um, in education, one of the biggest takeaways that I've acquired through these years is my great love of learning. I'm a lifelong learner, and I have a passion for education and a passion for history. Being a person of color, a male of color, and growing up the way that I grew up, education has been one of the most powerful tools in my life. And as a dad, as a husband, in my community, I make a lot of connections and ties, and I've developed this wonderful commitment to life in a different way. I'm a big fan of, all learning begins in a learner's frame of reference. And if you are in a certain state of mind, then it's going to impact how you learn. Um, it's going to impact what you learn. And so that phrase is one that I live by, and I always try to check check in with myself on who I'm not, and aspire to be the best version of myself. And so this platform gives me an opportunity to do that and to encourage others to do the same. I came to know Marjorie and Kevin because I was on, as Marjorie said, Phoenix Rising, and I had an opportunity to tell my story in a little bit more detail, um, on a platform with some terrific people who had terrific stories as well. And so, to Marjorie's point, that the connectivity was right away, instant for me and Marjorie and Kevin. And so I'm really excited about this part of the journey. I'm hopeful. That we continue to use this platform to teach and learn and model, and so that others may feel the freedom and the courage to do the same. Um, so that's the how and why. And so I'll pass it over to uh, Theo.
You have to unmute yourself, Theo.
Okay, so I, being the youngest of the group, do not have not as far along in my story as I would say the others are. But I appreciate being brought into a group of people who have been through so much and have done so much and are willing to teach and open up and let me see a bit into their lives so I can base future decisions and choices and guide my story down a similar path to one that they've created themselves. And my goal here is to share the connection that my father and I have, because a lot of people in the urban communities don't get the chance, like a lot of people don't get the chance to grow up with a father or have a father that's interested in the things that they're interested in or willing to share what they have. So I think what we have going between us two is a very important thing to share and for other people to see, and leave it as something I want to say to aspire to. And I think through that, we're going to be able to create a lot of connections with other people to be able to hear their stories and hear what they've done and grow together as a whole instead of as an individual, because that's what's really important here is the community as a whole instead of the individual aspect and the ego that everybody has going on between them that creates the conflict and the people leaving out of each other's lives and the constant fighting and drama. So um I think this is a good time to pass it over to Kevin to let him explain a little bit about why he's here and what he's doing. Dad, go ahead.
I was wondering when Kevin was gonna come back to Dad. uh, oh, this is amazing, amazing. I'm telling you, my journey from the third grade all the way to the present has come full circle. I have gotten a chance to surround myself with two wonderful people. I've been blessed to have the young man that I personally brought into this world be on a show with me every single day, because what I've missed every day is the connection through a dad learning the lessons of what the possibilities could be. I get a chance to be on the journey with my son to watch his story unfold. I get a chance to be a part of two of my closest friends to watch their story and watch life grow and how we impact everyone else. You know, I am honored. I am privileged. I hope that those of you that are driving right now, listening to this story, I hope you are prepared, because greatness is coming at you every single day. As my grandfather said, reach one, teach one. We're here to educate you. We're here to entertain you. We're here to make you think about the next choice that you make and how it's going to impact not only you, but how you're going to impact the world. And this is Kevin. My story is just beginning.
Whoop, whoop. We got to get some sound effects, okay? We got to get some sound effects for this show. So listen, that's how it all started, y'all. So how's it going, right? It's going down is how it's going. We are really, like Kevin said, we're about to embark on something just amazing. The people, not just with our partnership as a core, but just the other partnerships that we're making out into the community already. You guys are going to be, in store for something real. I mean, real, real. So I'm going to let Kevin, though, before I get into the different podcasts that you're going to be hearing about, I'm going to let Kevin tell you about RMK Productions. Just give you a little intro into what that is. Go for it, Kevin.
Well, good morning, good morning, good morning. In some parts of the world, good night. And in some parts of the world, good evening. RMK Productions, Raymond, Marjorie, and Kevin. That's the way we started off. And we just added Theo McLemore. So I don't know what the acronym will be for that. I think it's remake or remix. Is that the acronym for that? But anyway,
Remake.
remake. Well, every story we have is going to be original. Not only is RMK Productions going to provide you with a source of knowledge, we're going to entertain you, but also we're doing something that's never been done in the podcasting community ever. And we're bringing 10 united individuals of their own podcasts from start to finish. Some are very successful. Some are just doing okay. And some are stepping into the water for the first time. So as my son says that, how do you learn to swim? And my response was him, I said, hire a coach. He says, no, Dad. He says, jump into the water. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to jump into the water with this. And we're going to bring you something so special. It's coming. I'm telling you, be prepared. RMK Productions is not only going to make a difference in the world, we're going to bring people into the world that's going to make a difference. So without going into great detail, is that what you guys want me to do? Go in great detail how this is going to work?
Not great detail, but some detail,
Well,
right? Right, right.
I'm going to give you a little secret. Okay? First of all, we're going to show 10 podcasters how to work collectively through virtual, how to grow your business, how to expand your viewership by sharing content. So it basically means that if I'm successful, guess what? If you're part of this family, like every family, you're successful because I share with you. I share with my knowledge. I share with you my content. And instead of looking at, me having 10,000 likes on a certain podcast, guess what? If you got 5,000, we've got 15. If you got 5 more, we've got 20, and it grows from there. So you multiply that by 10. So at the end of the day, no matter how much time or energy you put into it, your audience will grow with the success of your partner's audience, your teammate audience. And then there's a lot more to go from there. At the end of 12 months, when we complete this, we will have a summit. You will get a chance to meet all of us. We'll get a chance to meet all of our followers. You get to ask us personal and intimate conversations, shake our hand, and learn from us as we will learn from you. And not only, I'm going to drop this on you, and this is a little secret, so don't run off the road while you're doing this. Every now and then, we're going to bring one of our listeners, and have you as one of our guests on our podcast. And I'm not going to reveal anything more. I'm just going to go ahead and let Marjorie take it from here. And thank you.
That's right. You don't want to give all the recipes away. What are you going to say, Ray?
Good stuff. We got good stuff coming.
Yes, yes, yes. Got a lot of good stuff cooking in the kitchen. So
Now,
let me just
Marjorie, I
what?
have a question for you. All right. I notice we have something going on now, and I'm dying to hear about this. One queen, two kings. It sounds like a happy relationship. What's that all about?
Yeah.
Well, I won't tell you guys who the queen is. Y'all let you all figure that out.
I can tell you it's not me.
Well, it's not me.
But
There's nothing wrong with being a queen. I'm just saying.
no, no, no. Just call me Your Majesty. But anyway,
So everyone knows, and don't be, if you're driving and you just left your house and thinking you're the king and you're in charge, I need you to pull right back into your driveway and go introduce yourself to the real boss. Kiss on the cheek and then go off to work. That's the queen.
thank you, Kevin. You know what? So I'm gonna I'll be sharing a little bit about Storytime and Wine, but why don't you, Ray, tell them, what they can expect from one queen, two kings.
Absolutely. Well, we I think if you haven't figured it out by now and you're driving, you done figured it out. You done heard in droves from the queen on this platform, right? So there's no confusion who the queen is. But this one queen and two kings platform is going to be powerful for so many different reasons. I think it's important, especially in our community, that we recognize our queens, and I know Kevin and I, Theo, we do recognize on this platform who our queen is, but also in your own lives, as Kevin spoke to briefly. But the idea here is for us to have some guests on, and to have some dialogue, some storytelling, but also to hit some specific topics that are important to you, as a participant, a listener, that's going to be important to our podcast community. So that's going to be a big focus with one queen and two kings. There'll be a range of and a variety of special guests that we invite on, across the gamut, from education to government, policy, sports world, you name it, you'll get it. It's going to be an exciting venture for us, that we're very much looking forward to. sharing with you and engaging with you. You may be surprised. We may have you on with one of those special guests as well to be able to kind of share your story with them and learn a little bit more about them in a more intimate way. So we're very excited. This is going to be a terrific opportunity for everyone, and I can't wait to get going. I can't wait to get going. So
Well, we had already started because we've posted on Facebook some of our event debriefing sessions and some of our strategy sessions. And so that more of that, you can tell when it'll be the three of us and there's no guest and, we're just, shooting the breeze and we're talking things out. That's what you'll get a taste of with One Queen, Two Kings. You're going to hear that synergy between the three of us and how we have this level of discourse about things that really is important to our communities. And so we're going to be counting on you guys to send us questions and topics and things like that so that we can address it as well during some of our conversations. So a lot of laughs and lots of good times. So you'll definitely
yes,
see that.
some of the best conversations we've had since we've gotten to know each other have been during those sessions. It's absolutely incredible, and absolutely looking forward to more of that. And as Marjorie said, the opening it up and really hearing your feedback, your voice. We'll try to, make sure that we find ways to connect in real time, as well as if you can't and you listen to the platform later, that you can still give us your feedback and your thoughts, and we'll have opportunity to address those in real time sessions and in planning sessions as well. So you'll be a part of this with us. So we're excited.
And Ray just said it. I don't know if you heard him say it. No scripts. We don't script this. This is all backyard conversation. This is like listening and talking to the next door neighbor. Hey, we're going to tell the story the way that you want to hear it. We're going to answer the question or ask the question that you want to want asked. I'm going to tell you, we're not putting on a show. We're just sharing. We want you to share. And like I said, come join the family. Come and be part of RMK Productions. I'm going to throw it back to you there, Queen.
Yeah, and Kevin, he talks about the kitchen table conversation or the backyard conversations, and I love that, and I'm all about the conversations over a glass of wine. So so I'm like, if I'm at the kitchen table, I've got a glass of wine. Are we in the backyard? I got a glass of wine. So that's what brought about story time and wine. Wanted to bring a little bit of that lifestyle into the work that we were doing as well. And I always tell people that story time and wine is like you're being at a cocktail party with just very interesting people that are thought provoking, they're curious, and they're social disruptors. And they're talking about what they want to do to be the change. And those types of conversations will really leave people thinking. It will leave people inspired and motivated. And so with Storytime and Wine, we have one where it's open conversation. um, we bring people on Zoom virtually, and of course once COVID has gone away or we're all vaccinated, we'll be able to bring Storytime and Wine to a city near you. But really, that's an opportunity for you guys to be in the conversation. It's really about you. There's no experts in the room. It's about ideas, right? And it's about coming together and partnering, and it's about community over a glass of wine. And we also use philanthropy because an important thing for us in our organization is about the impact that we're making. So we look for another way for us to make an impact, and that's through fundraising and donating money and being able to support the causes that are important. And so we invite you to be a part of that. And also on Clubhouse, we're on Clubhouse at least 3 times a month, and we do the Zoom. So we have a club, actually, Storytime and Wine Club on Clubhouse, and then we have the Zoom once a month. And so you'll see the videos from that, or you can listen to the podcast audio. There's many different ways you can do it, and just be involved. So from this, I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to Theo to really talk about this father and son partnership that I think is really so important and speaks to a lot of what we're really trying to do here. So go for it, Theo.
All right, thank you so much. So as I said before, our podcast is going to be talking with Kevin and Son. I'm a very proud son of Kevin, and I'm excited to let you all get to know us and tell us your stories. So our real goal here is to share the real stories and create connections through a global platform. So more than just the people in your neighborhood get to hear what went on with you, you know? So many of us have been through so much, whether it's good or bad, um, could be exciting, could be terrifying, but the only way to keep those stories being told past you, past your kids, is to share them. You got to share them with you and I, your neighbors, your mother, your friends, whatever, whoever's around. But we're here to give you that global platform to reach and connect to the people that you've normally would never be able to connect to. So I think the best part about sharing your stories with other people's is it creates a connection. It creates areas where other people can relate to you and look at you as something more than just another random person on the street. It gives you a chance to, it gives other people a chance to listen to your stories and apply what you did to grow from those stories. And it gives you a chance to apply that directly to your life instead of having to learn the hard lessons. And like, why learn it the hard way when somebody else has already done it? Like, why do something that's going to land your butt in jail when you can see on paper or through a podcast that somebody else has already done that? You know, just skip that entirely. So I think our main I think the greatest thing to take from this is, by sharing our connection as father and son, we want to create communication and places where ears typically fall silent. So whether it's father and son, mother and daughter, friend to friend, your stories speak volumes and deserve to be heard. And we are very excited to be the ones to share them. So if you have a powerful story and you feel like it needs to be heard, don't be afraid. Reach out, message any of us in our DMs, send an email, just join any of the groups and you'll get a chance to sit down with us and have a talk and share your story and see where we can grow from there. So I think that's about all I have to say about our coming up podcast right now. I'm very excited to sit down with a lot of you and hear your stories. And yeah, let's do it.
I think it's going to be talking with Theo. Dad's just going to be letting here crying in the background.
Here it is. I was about to say, we might as well go ahead and drop the mic right there, brother. You just dropped the mic right there. Theo just going to do the thing. I think it's talking with Theo and Dad.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
that's what I was
stole the
saying.
show. I'm sorry.
Raymond,
I'm the main character. He's just got the stories.
what did I tell you? You know, if you're the smartest person in the room, you need to get new friends. Look at surrounded by three amazing people, and one of them happens to be my own blood. You know, one thing is there's a terrible stereotype over here that men do not take charge of their children's lives, and if nothing else, you know, this will prove to the world that at least there's one parent in the child's life that's present, and we're going to find those other stories. And following my son's lead, I'm just going to learn. All again, reach one, teach one. Way to go, son.
Thank you.
This is amazing. We're all going to be learning through this process, and we hope you all will join us as well through this learning experience. So, just so you know, the podcast, One Queen, Two Kings, currently we're going to be recording twice a month. Is that correct, guys? Yes, twice a month for now. Story Time and Wine is once a month, and then Talking with Kevin and Son is every week, correct?
We're going to do it every week.
Every week.
Schedule will be announced, and there will probably be some outtakes that we will release. That just kind of happens every now and then. You know, I thought about doing motivational Mondays, but I forgot there's 7 days in a week, so I may surprise you every single day. So we'll go from there.
And he will. Don't take that as a surprise. He'll be there 7 days a week telling you.
Well, I'm looking forward to coming on with my daughter, and I know it's talking with Kevin and Son, but she's the princess in the house with my queen, so I'm looking forward to
That
Right.
creating
would be amazing.
Yeah,
rapping
that'll be
with you
great.
all, sharing our story, our process. We have a very interesting story to tell there as well. So I'm excited. So y'all
Father daughter.
invite
Hey,
us, Kevin and Theo. Don't forget about us now.
I'm not gonna forget
Oh,
about it. It's amazing. From the first time that we met, Raymond was in queue waiting for his time to come up, and he's texting me in the background. I don't know, man. I don't know if I should be here and whatever. I literally pushed him on the stage through virtual.
He did. He
And
sure
I'm
did.
glad he did because he shut it down. Everybody wanted to know who is that man?
All right. So let's go ahead and wrap this up if you don't mind. So everyone get ready for RMK Productions, featuring 3 podcasts by 3 amazing people, 4 amazing people. I got to count myself in there too. We got diamond wine coming your way. We've got 1 queen, 2 kings coming your way, and a dramatic story between father and son, changing the dynamics of the way people look at relationships against men and their children. We got Talking Wit, WIT, Kevin and Son. And we all know that Theo is a star. We want to hopefully you enjoy your ride into work, your ride home, or enjoying your nightcap. We look forward to talking to all of you guys. Thank you.